Welcome back to Locker Room Dads, hosted by myself, Pat O'Donnell, punter for the Green Bay Packers, and brewery owner Josh Brinzo. We are two lucky dads enough to have two amazing daughters with two pregnant wives. But today's guest on the show is a Pro Bowl kicker for the New Orleans Saints. He's a veteran kicker on the gridiron, but he is a rookie in the dad department. Without further ado, please welcome the man, the myth, the legend, Wil Lutz to the show.
Yeah, thanks for having me on. I literally had a kid just so I could get on this. So,
we like that. We really
I've been
like
waiting
that.
for the text. It finally came through.
Dude, you are here in the flesh. I love it. But where are we finding you right now? What do you got going on this week?
I'm out in Dallas, working with my punter, my long snapper, Blake Gillick and Zach Wood. Zach lives out in Dallas, and he went to SMU, so they got some pretty good facilities out here. Get some work in.
Nice.
So I got away for a couple nights.
You hear that, Josh? SMU?
I hear that. I'm a Baylor boy,
Uh-oh.
so not a big fan of the
Hear
schools
some
up
pony
north.
ups in the background.
But since we last talked, man, you're a dad now, father of one. How are you adjusting as a parent? Has it been easy? Has it been a hard transition?
Well, my wife's been a champ. She's so good with our newborn, and I mean, it's only been 3 months, so it's like it's hard to consider myself a dad because still, like, he doesn't talk to me yet, you know. So
Yeah.
I feel like it's been a fairly easy adjustment. There's nothing I can do in the middle of the night anyways, so she lets me sleep. I still get everything I need, and she takes it all. It's been pretty good.
Yeah, that's that pet rock stage. They can't do much yet. It's just there. It's
Yeah.
eating and breathing and pooping,
First time yesterday, and it was like, oh my gosh, he's got a voice box. This is great.
I think being a dad right off the bat, when the mom has to do a lot of the work, you kind of don't feel like a dad yet, even though it's hit you, you're a dad. You don't feel like you're doing the dad
Yeah,
stuff
and I feel
yet.
bad because I want to help so much, but right now, if I try and help, I'm just messing something up. I'm just taking notes in the background.
It's going to be like that for the rest of our lives now. We have kids and stuff.
You're in the background.
But for everyone tuning in, what is your son's age and where did you actually guys deliver?
So his name's Owen. He is 3 months old. I don't know I can't do the whole week counting.
You're good. 3 months is great. Yeah.
We had him in Santa Rosa Beach, Florida. That's where my wife's from. And so we wanted to have some help from her parents. So we decided to deliver down there, and it was a great experience. They have a great hospital down there. And we had so much help. It was life-saving.
That's awesome. Was her whole family there for you?
Yeah, her whole family lives there. And then obviously mine came down as well. But her sister lives around the corner. Her mom actually has been living with us to help. So it's been such a smooth transition. It almost feels fake. Like I'm like, when is it going to hit me?
Yeah.
Were they actually in a delivery room the day of the birth, or was it more like they were at the house and you kind of had your own moment with Meg?
So her mom was there, but she left as soon as we went into actual delivery. So we obviously together, and then shortly after, when everything kind of cleared up, we let everybody come in. So it was good. It was her request for no one to be in the room, so I was very supportive of that.
There's nothing wrong with that at all. I fully support that request.
Yeah.
We got lucky though. We had COVID babies, coronials, so we didn't have the luxury of canning people out of the room. We were just like, yeah, this is the way it is. You can't be in here. Sorry.
Yeah.
Get
so
out.
At least that makes the process a little easier to break the news to them.
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah, but what was the birth process like? Was it very easy? Did you guys go C-section? Did you guys go old, straightforward vaginal birth, or how did it work?
Yeah, we went straight forward. We did induce, though. And I think, I think she learned the hard way. We may not do that next time. She was in labor for 26 hours.
Oh,
so
man.
so that was tough. We kind of learned a lot through that process. But I mean, she handled it like a champ. It's what's funny is they come in and they say, "Do you want an epidural?" And so the lady and asked that, and as soon as she asked that, there's some woman screaming down the hallway, and it's like that woman did not want an epidural. So my wife was like, "Yeah, I'm ready."
Oh my God.
So,
That made the
hey,
decision
if someone
easier.
has a like all the power to them, it's incredible the strength to do that. But we are.
Yeah.
She very happily admits that she did not have a natural birth.
Did they warn her? Because I remember the nurse came in and was like, "Listen, we can't go backwards. Like, it's either you do it or you don't. Because if you're in the middle of this, like, we can't give you anything. Like, you're gonna have to just ride it out."
It's funny because it's almost like they're like almost asking you to do it. They don't want to go through. They don't want you to go through it either. So,
Oh,
but my wife was a nurse, so she had kind of made up her mind already. She's like, I believe in medicine. Hit me with it.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah. My wife always says they're not giving out participation trophies, so you may as well get that
Yeah.
thing.
No one gets an award in their room for natural birth.
No.
But hey, all the power to them.
Do what makes it easier.
Did you actually watch the birth, or did you stay above the sheet? Were you like holding her hand, or did you watch the whole?
I was a head guy. I pep talked the whole way.
Oh, I love it. I love it.
No, I'm good.
No shame. I know, because there's like two types of dad. Like, they're like, "No, dude, you have to watch this." They're like, "No, stay above the sheet. Leave some things for like a mystery."
Nothing like it. You got to do it, and I'm like, no, I'm just not. I'm not doing it. I'm
Smart.
pretty, I mean, I'm not a big blood guy. No, like I don't need to be done.
No, I was smart.
No, it's a eye-opening experience. We had a mirror for our delivery, which I didn't know was
So
a
you might
thing.
have been
And they
down
brought
there
the mirror out
anyways.
I know they brought the mirror out, and my wife was like pushing for a while, and it helped her like get through it. But when they brought it out, I was like,
I don't know
okay.
if I want to watch
It's like,
it.
it's
I think
different.
she was fine not saying anything.
Yeah, it's like it's a lot.
I'm gonna be honest with you. I would not want that mirror, dude. I would not want to be looking at that as a woman. That would like throw me off so bad.
It was eye-opening. Now, Will, I'm curious. Pat and I haven't actually talked about this on here before too. Prior to birth, did you guys do any like Lamaze classes or anything? Because we didn't get to do them with COVID.
So we didn't do any classes, but we're in the age of TikTok, and I'll be honest with you, we learned so much off of TikTok videos that I felt pretty prepared. So, obviously there's things you can't teach, and I was just like, you know what, let's wing this thing, and we had a lot of help. I really don't want to go to a class. So
I was kind of afraid of going to one, honestly.
it would almost make me like kind of even more nervous or kind of weird me out even more. So I was like, TikTok's good enough.
Wait, walk us through what a Lamaze class is, though. I think I know what it is, but I don't know if I'm 100% sure. Or for everyone else that's listening and wondering what that is.
I got to be honest, I don't 100% know what they
These are
I just know it's to get you ready
units,
for the birth and like all the
Is that like when the man has to wear like a 15-pound vest on the front and like do exercises and like put you in the experience of a woman? Or no, or is it more breathing like
I think it's the breathing, yeah.
Got it. Okay.
like
Stretching.
they hook up so that you can feel contractions. It's like, I don't want to feel that, so it's okay.
I don't want to do that.
It's like, I don't
do that on here.
We might have to do that.
You gotta
all right.
You gotta be alive.
All right. We're digressing. Well, what was it like though? Seeing your son for the first time, did you have that moment where you're like holy shit, like I'm a dad now, or was it? Did you already know your dad going in there? Did you have that eye-opening experience like right off the bat?
No, I mean, kind of like we talked about. I was like trying to remind myself that I'm about to be a dad. But it's so weird. Like it's not something you can prepare for. So came out, and I don't know how. I mean, obviously y'all are familiar with it being dads, but he came out with this big old cone head, and I was like, this is not my baby. I can't. Like, I looked at my wife. My poor wife is laying there, and I'm like, does that head go away? Like, does the shape of his head go away, or So I was like immediately asking questions, and she was like yelling at me to just stop talking. And I look over, and they took them, they put them in the little machine with the light over them and stuff. And I was just kind of in awe. I was like, this is crazy. That's a human being, and I guess it's mine. I don't know what to do now. Like, there's just so many questions going through my head, but I'll never forget when we walked out of the door for the first time. I looked at the nurse. I straight up asked her, I was like, well, I mean, what do I do now? Like, I'm walking into the world here. Do you have any advice? And they literally just say, all right, good luck. Call us if you need anything. I'm just like, all right, I'll call you in 5 minutes. So that was
okay. So what was one thing you didn't expect going in? I'm sure you probably saw movies and things, and you probably had somewhat of an idea. Did you have one thing you're like, I had no idea that took place? Because I told Josh this in a lot of episodes that we talked about. I thought it was going to be exactly like the movies, where they wheel you in on a gurney, double doors fly open, everyone's screaming. But you were in labor for 23 hours, which was already stressful enough. I'm sure that in itself was stressful, having her go through 23 hours. That's intense. That's unheard of.
It's going to be so hectic. And everything, I mean, she was in labor for all that time, but, labor is really just waiting. It's just not like she's pushing the whole time, right? So, we kind of just waited there. It happened at 3 a.m, so that was a little unexpected. I was finally getting some sleep, and I was woken up by the doctors. So that kind of sucked, but man, it was so calm. It's crazy how calm these doctors are delivering a baby. I thought it was going to be, like you said, the nurses screaming and everything. And the doctor literally is like, all right, here's your baby, and then kind of rolls out. And I was like, that's it? You got an instruction manual, anything? But
nothing for you. Were you?
I remember when they asked us too. They're like, "Leah, are you ready to push?" And I was like, "What? That's all they ask?" I thought it was gonna be so crazy in here, and they're like, "Yeah, you ready?"
Yeah, and my dog, the doctor's on a stool, just as calm as can be. Hardly says anything, and here he comes.
But what did your wife have to have one thing in a hospital? I know they always talk about the overnight bag, but what was in the bag that kept her calm? Did she have a robe, or did she have her slippers or snacks, or a certain, I don't know, item that she had to have that kind of calm her nerves or make her feel comfortable, if you will?
So 2 things. She's always cold. She's always freezing. So she packed 3 blankets just for her. And then her and I are both probably drink a little too much caffeine. So she had 26 hours of labor. She had a couple energy drinks she had to have with her. So she packed expecting a long day.
Was it your amino energy? Was it? Go ahead, give a shameless plug right now.
Out to those guys, got my wife through labor.
Those were flying off the shelves for pregnant women.
That's right.
No, but that's interesting, man. I definitely hear that blankets, and we hear robes and things are the number one go-to thing. What did Aaliyah have? Did she have anything special, Josh?
Well, with COVID, we had to bring snacks because they said we couldn't order food, so we just brought whatever snacks we were looking for. She had her little peanut butter bars that she loves, but then I think it was the shoes. She had some comfy shoes, and it was all about just.
So our doctor didn't eat. You guys got to bring snacks and actually eat? Did your wife get to eat?
Well, with COVID, we couldn't do anything for food, so whatever food you had, you really had to bring. And then on top of that, the cafeteria was closed after 6. After we gave birth, they were like, "Hey, did you place your food order?" And I was like, "Dude, we've been in delivery. I didn't even think about placing the food order." And oh, that sucks. Well, the cafeteria is closed.
Oh,
I was
no.
like, "Oh, cool."
Well, I mean,
thanks, guys. So
my
we had,
poor wife
whatever
didn't eat
chips
for
we
27 hours. She was on straight liquids for 27 hours. So
yeah,
I wasn't about to not eat, so I went and ordered a pizza. And I didn't realize how bad I felt until the nurse came in and was like, "Did you really just order a pizza in front of your wife?" I was like, "Oh my God, that was not a smart move." Strike one.
Tip for the dads
Note
there.
to self: everybody listening, do not eat a full pizza in front of your wife that just delivered a baby.
Don't bring a pizza to the delivery room.
Being induced though is totally different than like just going into labor naturally too. Like you said, it was a lot of waiting. We waited a long time. I know, Pat, you guys kind of went through that the first time as well. Like for people who haven't been through it, being induced takes a good bit of time, and it's kind of like checking into a hotel.
It really is.
Like I'm sure you felt kind of weird showing up to a hospital and you're like, hey, we're here to have a
Yeah,
baby.
so we showed up at midnight, right? So they're like, there's like 2 windows. You either go in at midnight or like 4 a.m. And so we had to stay up all night.
Yeah.
We're just sitting there anticipating. Like, my wife hasn't had like one sign of giving birth, and we're like, are we really going to the hospital at midnight? And so we did. And like, yeah, you roll in with your suitcase, and they're like, are you here to check in? It's just like, this is wild.
Well, how wild is it though when you walk in as 2 and then you leave with 3, and then forever for the rest of your life you will always have that third? Like, I actually walked in there and I was like, oh my gosh, like, because Nick Foles, a friend of mine, like in Chicago when we were having the baby, and he said, dude, you need to journal like everything. You need to write everything down because the day is like a blur. So I was like writing notes and things, and like it popped in my head. I'm like, this is so crazy. Like, for the rest of my life, I will be responsible for not only my wife, but also like another baby.
And you don't
have that out?
How long that is. It's like you don't get to hand this thing off after 18 years. It's it's the whole life.
100%.
Yeah.
But when you walked out, how nervous were you with that car seat? Did they walk you through the car seat thing, or were you just like car seat's already in like wheel her out with the baby? How did it work for you guys? Car seat in the hospital, walk out with?
It's kind of funny. My wife sent me down. She's like, hey, they're going to let us leave. Go get the car seat. And so I go to the car, and I've never even seen the car seat. And, so there's something I probably should have gone to a class on. I get the car, and I grab the car seat base and everything. I'm like, I don't know. Like, do I bring the whole thing? So I'm carrying the car seat with the car base through the hospital, and every nurse was like laughing at me. And I'm like, what am I doing wrong? So I get there, and then the nurse in the room was like, oh, wow, you brought the base with you. And my wife was like, oh, my God, this is not good. So I then learned that there's a base to it. So I snap the base off, and I carry it in the other hand, and we roll them out. And I'll never forget, I'm rolling them out, and there's another guy loading up a newborn. And he looks at me, and he goes, we'll see you in the car line at school one day. And I was like, that's true. We were born on the same day. So
that is hilarious. No, I'm not laughing at you, but like that's probably such a thing that all the nurses probably just like, oh my gosh, look at this guy. It's his first time. He doesn't even know how to put in a car seat.
Yeah.
But we did have recommendations though. Go to the firehouse, right? They will install the car seat for you. Now that's like a huge thing. I mean, what car seat did you actually have? Was it one of those really complicated ones, or did you have like
The worst part about that story is it was actually a really simple one. That Duna. So like,
yes, the best.
I mean, it is a car seat itself. Like, you don't really need anything. It's a stroller and a car seat. So there's nothing to it, and I still couldn't figure it out. The nurses just look at you. They don't tell you how to do it. They need to make sure that you're able to do it. And so
Pat will plug the Duna all day long too because of
it's
how
the
that
best.
Is one. Yeah, go ahead.
Whatever I've ever seen.
You will love that Duna until he can't. I mean, Palmer grew out of it, but like Owen will probably be, you get some solid months out of it, and then you'll have to transition. And I was so upset when we had to transition because, like you said, for people that are listening, you literally put it in on the base, and then when you take it out, you just hit a button and the wheels pop up. It is like the most convenient thing that I've ever seen built.
Genius.
It is amazing.
Ever designed that? Goldstar.
Yeah, shout out to you. Definitely had kids.
Yeah, they made it a lot easier. Listen, car seats don't get any easier too. The older they get, there's still stuff.
They get more complicated and more expensive, huh?
I think so. I had to take a car seat out today and move it through 3 different cars in a span of like 5 minutes because nobody could figure out what car we were taking. And I'll tell you, it was really
one of those things where like you got to go change shirts because you've been outside moving a car seat.
Dude, I felt like I just got done running a race after I was done. I was so
That'll
mad.
ruin
I was like, how many times I got to change this? Yeah.
Yeah, that is always so often true when dads are in the airport, especially when they're just saturated, like they're so sweaty and like their shirt is drenched, or they're like chugging through the airport with like a million bags. I remember going to Enterprise, and they actually don't put the car seat in there for you, like it's a liability thing. And I'm like, no, like I got the car seat, like hook it up. I'm like, you guys do this like all day, every day. Like I got a million bags, a family. Like, come on, help me out here. Have you gone through that, Josh?
No, I mean we check our stuff, so like every time we get, like when we came up to Maine on this trip, we had our car seat checked, but it has like the tension thing that you have to pull to adjust it for every car, and it was jammed when we got here. So I'm like getting in our Suburban we rented, and I couldn't get it, dude. I felt like I was just ripping this thing as hard as I could, and at some point it was gonna break. Finally, it gives way, and I'm like,
You
oh,
never,
good.
you don't feel
But
defeated
man,
until a car seat beats you.
Oh, I know, and I'm not letting a car seat beat me. Like, come on, I can't be beat by that thing. But I really thought I was about to be beat. It was really frustrating.
Yeah, 100%. And I've gotten close. I'm going to admit this verbally. Like you're like, okay, that's good enough, and I'm like, no. I'm going to go through and I'm going to redo the steps
Yeah.
and make sure everything's tight. There's a million steps, a million checks, but safety's first. Make sure that's
when the baby is in the car seat and you're like sitting there shaking it, trying to get it in there. I'm like, dude, I'm so sorry. I'm trying.
I know I set it up for Billy the one time and it wiggled, and I was like, hey, is this good? She's like, nah, I don't know. That might be a little too
but it's like what it's like a half inch or something each side. Like you're not allowed to wiggle it or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Well, I'm curious. Oh, sorry, Pat. I was gonna say, for like everything you had on like your baby list, your registry, and everything, what was like the one item that you got that you would recommend to all the dads out there? Because we always are about recommendations.
You mean just like what makes life easier?
Yeah, we've talked about like white noise machines,
a snoo,
different rockers.
Josh is like the snoo guy.
Snoo is
snoo life.
I'll give you that, but I feel like that's known. Like everyone knows a snoo is the way to go. If we have this stuff called gripe gel. Y'all use that?
Oh, I have
heard of gripe water. It's the same thing
that they put on you. You know, it's like there's gripe water. You put for stuff. So it's a gel that you can put on their pacifier, and they just they will not spit it out. They're addicted to it. And so when I need to put him down for a nap, my wife's always like, just put a little. I'm like, putting it all over this thing. I'm like, this kid is not waking up. I'm going to make sure he's got all the gripe gel, and he's out cold as soon as you give it to him. So that's been a lot.
Have you done the dad test and tried it out?
No, I can't do any of that.
The dad test.
I don't want to know. But I mean, it's grape. It says grape flavor, so I'm sure it can't be too bad. So he's going to be addicted to grapes at some point.
Or just totally over it. It's like my dad overdid it one time with his gripe gel.
I hate grapes.
I will never have anything purple again.
Do you and your wife drink coffee? I know you mentioned it before that you guys like that amino energy stuff. Do you guys have like a coffee machine or something that you guys crush on a daily basis?
Some people are going to go crazy for me saying this. I've never had a cup of coffee in my life. I've tried someone's cold brew before, and I'm like, the coffee flavor just isn't for me. And so my wife will drink it, but because I don't drink it that much, we don't really keep it in the house. So we're huge caffeine people, but not coffee. We just go straight to the out every morning.
So maybe you're just not in that stage yet. I mean, we had a guy on the podcast that was like, if you don't drink coffee, are you actually a dad? But maybe we could change that. If you don't drink caffeine, are you actually a dad?
A 5-year anniversary, and I'm going to podcast, and I'm going to roll up with a coffee mug. Coffee.
I hope it's a huge one, too. 40 ouncer. You got the whole pot.
But now that you had your son, is there one thing that you can't wait to teach him? I know everyone's like, oh, I can't wait to play catch with him, or what is one thing that you just like can't wait to teach him to do? Like, I'm sure you probably, try to read books and you probably talk to him a little bit now. Is there one thing that jumps out at you that you're like, I can't wait to do this?
I mean, obviously I can't wait to teach him to golf, right? Just so I can play golf again. Because when I'm home and I'll get to play because I'm, helping with him. But we're big beach people, and I can't wait till he finally learns to swim. And it's like go jump in the beach together and stuff. And we have a pool, and it'd be fun to be able to do that. And so, I mean, other than golf, yeah, I would say when I can throw him in a pool and he can swim.
Are you more excited to teach him how to golf or kick a field goal one day?
Oh, golfing! I don't. Man, I just had 3 surgeries. I don't want to. We'll teach him to golf.
I like that.
Listen, golf will last a lifetime.
That's right. It won't hurt your hips as much.
For sure. But how cool is it, though, that he is going to hopefully be at training camp right now? He's at your games. Probably a different dynamic now this season. You got that awesome dome down there in New Orleans, so you don't have to worry about the weather. But are you excited and looking forward to that?
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of funny. I've always said I want to play long enough that my kid can comprehend, that he's coming to my game or watching me on, which, hopefully that happens. If not, obviously it's okay. But yeah, that'll kind of put it all into perspective. When you're able to look up. Like Thomas Morstead was our punter for forever, and he has 4 kids, and so like they would come down to the first row in warm-ups every game, and he can say hey to them, and I'm like, man, I want that. I don't want 4 of them, but I want.
It's a cool thing for sure, and I've seen it too. And I said the same thing. I want to play long enough where they can go to training camp, they can go to games. I mean, comprehend. I mean, I don't know what age that is. Maybe 5. I'm not sure. But no, that's super. Yeah, that's super cool, man. Is there a favorite movie or show that you are really excited to show him one day? I mean, it could be like Animal House, it could be like Wedding Crashers, or it could be a Disney movie. Like, is there one movie that you're like, I have to show Owen this, and I can't wait to show it to him?
Oh, that's tough. It's funny you say Wedding Crashers. That's probably up there. Like the Wedding Crashers, the Step Brothers, the ones like you can watch with your boy, and you said like when mom's away, you can put it on and be like, hey, we're gonna watch it.
For sure.
Pretty cool.
Have you have any stories that you would find funny or entertaining to a new dad out there, or a recommendation for new dads going through this process that would find helpful one day? Is there anything that jumps out at you that you want to just like leave somebody with, like, dude, if you don't hear any of this that I've said over the last like 30 minutes, like this is the one thing that I would recommend?
Man, honestly, like it kind of goes back to what we talked about earlier. It's like watching the videos, watching these TikToks, the social media. Social media, obviously there's a lot of bad on there, but you can learn so much from it. And so like at first my wife would be like, hey, check this out. And I'd be like, I don't want to watch any of this. And it's like, sometimes I look back and I'm like, I learned that off of TikTok, and I'm really glad I tuned into that stuff. Like, don't be afraid to take advice from your wife, or like to watch things that she recommends you watch, because she's only trying to help.
They are. They mean well. They really do.
That's right.
I am going to turn it over to Josh here, and I hope he asks a question pertaining to flying. I don't know if you've flown commercial yet or done any extensive traveling yet with Owen.
I hope you have.
Josh loves to talk about this question. But I'm not going to jump into your question. Josh, if you have another one that you want to ask Will before we go.
Oh, you're good. No, I mean, I flew up to Maine recently. So when I was on our flight, we had a kid who I'm pretty sure had COVID.
Very recent, because you're in Maine right now.
Yeah, and the mom was like, the kid's coughing up a lung, and the mom was not doing anything about it. Then the kid starts puking. Mom won't put a mask on the kid, whatever. Anyway, bad travel experience with the kid. I'm curious, have you traveled with your son yet? How has it been? What are you doing on the airplane to keep your kid calm? And how's it
So
going?
I have not yet flown with my kid, but my wife took him to Italy after
Oh my gosh.
8 weeks, 9 weeks old. Her sister was getting married, and she was in the wedding, so obviously she had to go. And so, we're like scrambling to get his passport and everything. It's like we just got his social security and like all of it, all that's birth certificate, everything. And I'm almost happy that I'm not going. Like I wouldn't admit that to her until she got home. Like thank God I wasn't there. But she took the DockATot. Are y'all familiar with the DockATot? That's
yeah. Oh yeah, DockATot's awesome.
So she's her mom paid for most of the ticket, and then we paid to upgrade her to first class so that she could lay the DockATot out and not mess up too much. And she claims it went as smooth as possible. The problem is your schedule is so out of whack when you're 8-hour time change.
Oh yeah.
It's like I got to experience the day they got back where he was like wide awake at 3 a.m. and wailing at 2 p.m, and it's like, okay, we got to get this kid back on schedule because this is brutal. So I'm kind of happy.
The schedule is very important.
My time's coming, I'm sure.
Well, I have one more follow-up question. All right, so middle of the night, Wil Owen gets up. Who's getting him first, you or your wife?
Well, like I said to start the show, there's nothing I can do. She's breastfeeding, so it's like, I mean, I'll go hand them to you if you want, but then I'm just going to be grumpy, So it's like, we always joke around, like, do you want to deal with 2 babies or just 1? So like, you should probably take care of it in the middle of the night. But we're doing this thing now where, he wakes up about 6:30 every morning. So I'll go get him. I'll wake him up, kind of hold him over for about 10 minutes while she kind of gets moving. And then I'm right back to sleep. So I'm trying to help, but there's just, like we said, there's just nothing you can do. So I'm sure when he gets a little older and he starts sleeping in his crib and he starts having, like true nightmares, that's when I'm going to, get a peace of mind.
No way, dude. You're not getting up.
Yeah, bro. I'm kind of lucky that it's going to be easy when he gets to that phase. So I'm going to be like, oh, but, I got a kick tomorrow. Like,
yeah, he'll understand. He'll understand.
I'm more powerful than a mom. So I want to make sure I give a shout out to my wife here because what they do is incredible. It is superhuman. Superhuman.
It is. No, Shelby's the same way. She's like, I'm going to get up. I'm going to take care of the kid, especially in season. She was breastfeeding also. So it's like there isn't a whole lot that you can do, but I've done this like technique where I'm like, oh, like, do you need anything? Like, can I help you do anything? Like, at least like ask or sound like you're like making an attempt. Like, are you good? Like, are you good? Like, there's nothing you can do. There's nothing. But
you ask like, hey, do you need some help when they say something? I'm like, shoot, all right, fine, I'll help. You
weren't prepared.
It's a thought that counts.
Eat it, but I guess I'll help.
You're becoming a veteran dad, Will.
Learn it on the spot.
Dude, we love it, man. But we appreciate your time here on Locker Room Dads, joining us. Best of luck this season, comeback season, man. Really pumped for you. You had a couple surgeries, so best of the family. Enjoy the rest of the summer. Hopefully we can connect down there in Gatlinburg, Tennessee, and I'll see you. But actually, we have a joint practice, I think, right?
Yeah.
We got a joint practice.
Yeah, that'll be cool. Spending a couple days up there.
Yeah, it'll be nice and toasty for you. It won't be like the frozen tundra just yet.
Not like New Orleans.
Yeah, Jesus.
But no, I appreciate you guys having me on. This was fun.
No, it's great. But thanks for everybody out there listening. We release episodes every Wednesday, so look out for our boy Will here. And stay tuned, and we'll talk to you guys next week on Locker Room Dads. Later. Locker Room Dads is powered by Mantra Labs. After my buddy Nick Foles, Super Bowl MVP, recommended this amazing new nutrition line to me, as a professional athlete, I had to listen to hear what he had to say. So let me tell you, Mantra Labs is an absolute game changer. For all you dads out there looking to have more energy, better hydration, and better sleep, look no further. Mantra Labs is the stop for you. So we've actually partnered with them, and they provide 25% off everything on their site. So go visit them at gomantralabs.com. Enter Locker Room Dads with no space for 25% checkout.